Listen to that sound. That is not a ringtone. That is the actual radio emission of Jupiter screaming into the void. For centuries, we saw it as a king, the king of planets, a guardian angel watching over us, deflecting the cosmic debris that would have crushed our world into oblivion. We called it noble, but nobility is the ultimate deception. Jupiter is not our protector. It is a monster masquerading as salvation, a world of impossible storms, of pressure systems that would incinerate you into atoms, and of a gravity so savage it devours entire moons as offerings to itself. It is the god of chaos wearing the mask of a guardian. Welcome to the god of chaos. Let's start with what you see, the colorful bands. Red, brown, orange, white, stripes of color rotating around the planet like a patient kaleidoscope, painted across 140,000 kilometers of cosmic canvas. Beautiful, serene, peaceful. But those colors are not art. They are violence happening in real time, raw chaos masquerading as beauty. Those bands are jet streams. Each one moves at 600 kilometers per hour, faster than a bullet train, faster than a hurricane, faster than anything that moves on Earth. Imagine winds so fast that if you stood on Earth and felt them for just 1 second, your body would be shredded into organic confetti. Your skin would peel away. Your organs would liquefy. Death would come in a fraction of a second, too fast for your nervous system to even register pain. But Jupiter does not have a surface to stand on. That is the real nightmare. If you fell through those bands, you would fall forever into darkness. Below the clouds lies no solid ground, no rock, no core you could touch. Just deeper and deeper layers of atmosphere, each one hotter and more crushing than the last, pressing down with unimaginable, relentless force that has no mercy. You would sink through ammonia crystals, through water ice, through clouds of hydrogen sulfide, the gas that smells like rotten eggs but infinitely more violent, and you would keep sinking into the abyss without end. The pressure would begin to crush your body almost immediately. Your bones would compress like sponges. Your organs would implode in silence. But even as you die, you would keep falling. Further, deeper. Where the temperature climbs into the thousands of degrees Celsius. At 10,000 kilometers below the clouds, the pressure becomes so immense that hydrogen itself transforms. It becomes liquid, pure liquid hydrogen, a sea of a substance that does not exist naturally anywhere else in the solar system. You would think that is the bottom, but it is not. Sink even deeper, and the hydrogen transforms one final time. Under the weight of Jupiter's gravity, hydrogen becomes something impossible. It becomes metal. Liquid metallic hydrogen, electrically alive, churning with heat that would make the surface of the sun look cold. At the very heart of this nightmare lies a rocky core, perhaps a dozen times the mass of Earth, forever hidden beneath layers of violence so profound we may never see it. Jupiter is not a world. It is a pressure trap disguised as a planet. Those beautiful colors, they are blood in the water. Nature does not allow a hurricane to outlive civilizations. Every storm on Earth eventually dies. Energy disperses. The monster fades, except on Jupiter. The Great Red Spot has been raging for at least 350 years, 3.5 centuries. It was raging when Galileo first turned his telescope to the sky. It was raging during the American Revolution. It is raging now as you read these words. Unstoppable, eternal, angry. Imagine a hurricane so vast that 3 Earths could fit inside it side by side, spinning without pause for 350 years. The winds inside exceed 100 kilometers per hour. The storm rises 8 kilometers above the surrounding clouds. But something strange is happening. The Great Red Spot is shrinking. In the 1970s, it was nearly 40,000 kilometers across. Today, it is 16,000. Every year it contracts, pulling inward, becoming more concentrated, more violent, denser with rage as it compresses. What happens when a 350-year-old hurricane finishes tightening its fist? We do not know. No storm like this has ever existed before. There is no prediction we can make with confidence. Jupiter keeps its secrets locked away forever, more and more. If the bands are Jupiter's face and the great red spot is its rage, then the magnetosphere is its death sentence for everything nearby. Jupiter's magnetic field is the largest structure in the solar system, not the largest structure around a planet. The largest structure, full stop. It extends 650 million kilometers toward the Sun, past the orbit of Saturn itself. If you could see it, it would cover a space in the sky twice the size of our moon. Inside that field is a prison of radiation. Jupiter's radiation belts accelerate particles to nearly the speed of light. Passing through them delivers over 1 million X-rays per orbit. When Galileo arrived at Jupiter, the radiation began destroying it immediately. When Juno arrived decades later, NASA built it a titanium radiation vault, the most heavily shielded spacecraft ever launched. And still, every orbit at closest approach, the vault loses ground. Jupiter kills our machines by simply existing. Imagine what it does to anything alive, anything breathing, anything with living tissue and DNA and hope. Jupiter has 95 moons, but 2 of them are wrong in ways that should not be possible. The first is Io. Io looks like a pizza. The surface is streaked red, orange, yellow, and black from the sulfur erupting constantly across its entire face. Io has over 400 active volcanoes. Some erupt continuously, shooting plumes 500 kilometers into space. Why? Jupiter. Every 42 hours, Jupiter's gravity kneads Io like a ball of dough. The tidal force generates heat. The heat erupts through 400 volcanoes simultaneously. Any footprint left on Io would be buried within days. The crust is being continuously destroyed and remade over and over for billions of years without rest or mercy. Io is what happens when something lives inside the fist of a gas giant for billions of years. But if Io is the nightmare, Europa is the impossible hope. Europa looks like a cracked marble, a sphere of bright white ice scored with brown fracture lines across the entire globe. That ice is a shell, and beneath it lies an ocean, a global ocean 100 kilometers deep, containing more liquid water than all of Earth's oceans combined. Tidal heating keeps it liquid. Hydrothermal vents warm the seafloor. On Earth, life exists around every hydrothermal vent we have ever found. Every single one. Life thrives where chemistry and energy meet in darkness. Beneath Europa's ice, in the dark, under 20 kilometers of frozen water, shielded from Jupiter's radiation, something might be swimming, something alive, something we have never seen, something we have never even dreamed of encountering. We went to Jupiter looking for gas and rock. We might leave having found neighbors. But to reach these secrets, we paid a price. The Galileo spacecraft had spent 8 years at Jupiter. It had mapped the planet, measured the magnetosphere, and revealed the ocean beneath Europa's ice. Then it ran out of fuel. Engineers faced a choice: let it drift and eventually crash into Europa, contaminating that pristine ocean with Earth microbes before we ever searched it for life. NASA made the decision. On September 21st, 2003, they pointed Galileo directly at Jupiter. On its final descent, the spacecraft fought to keep its antenna aimed at Earth, transmitting everything it could. Engineers watched the signal weaken, segment by segment, until it stopped mid-sentence. Jupiter absorbed it completely, vaporized it in seconds. Jupiter showed no mercy. Here is what Jupiter never told us. For 4 billion years, its gravity swept the outer solar system clean, deflecting or consuming the asteroids that would otherwise have struck Earth. Without Jupiter, the bombardment that could have prevented life from taking hold would have continued indefinitely. We are here because Jupiter ate the threats aimed at us. But the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs 66 million years ago did not originate nearby. It came from the asteroid belt, nudged onto a collision course with Earth by a shift in Jupiter's gravitational pull. Jupiter's gravity gave us billions of years of safety. Then it sent the missile that ended 75% of all life on Earth. It is not our guardian. It was never our guardian. So the next time you find Jupiter in the night sky, a steady golden point of light above the horizon, remember what you are looking at. A monster that made us possible and almost ended us. It is not watching over you. We are simply small enough that it has not noticed us yet. Nobility can be deadly. Remember that.